So in this final lesson, taking a sort of introduction to the issue and the subject of financial markets, I want to just spend some time thinking about the purpose of financial markets, why financial markets exist, and what their importance are. Why do we have them? What can we do with them? And what kind of things do people do with financial markets? So essentially, what we did in the previous lesson was spend some time talking about the historical development of financial markets. We focused on things including the earliest examples of what would arguably be described as a financial market in terms of the trading of seeds during the agricultural revolution. And then we got to some of the more formalistic, more institutionalized versions of financial markets, including things relating to, but not limited to, Antwerp and the development of the first stock exchange in Belgium in the sort of 1530s, the development of the first proper stock exchanges in London in the 1770s, and then in New York in 1792. And then finishing looking at the establishment of the NASDAQ in 1971, one of the most important revolutions in the trading of financial instruments, given the fact that what it did was it made electronically and computerized the process of buying and selling trades. This video is going to explore the main functions and purposes associated with financial markets, looking at what the main functions are. Why would we go into the process of studying financial markets, which is what the purpose of this series of lessons is going to be? But also, if you're somebody who is looking to do finance and to operate and work in finance and work on financial markets yourself, why would you do that? What is the value that you add or take away from the economy and from the way in which this world functions when we think about financial instruments and financial markets? Well, the main functions that we're going to look at that are associated with financial markets are the following ones here. You should be aware that this is not an exhaustive list. This isn't all of the reasons why anybody would involve themselves with financial markets, but what we're going to do is talk about the main ones that we are citing here. These are really the main functions of financial markets and financial instruments. So the first function is to make investments, okay? If you have an investment fund, if you have an investor's account, so if you were somebody who has eToro or something like that, a Vanguard account, for example, or a Robinhood account, you will find that you can use those accounts to take your own money that you have earned from working, for example, and to invest that money into the financial markets. This is one of the most important parts of the financial markets, is to make investments. Markets which offer for sale corporate securities, as well as money markets, will make available assets which allow those with capital to make investments into those assets. The general aim here is that this, on the one hand, can increase the net worth of the individual and allow for greater returns in the future if investing is done correctly. If I invested in a company today and that company grows exponentially over the next 10 years, then my initial investment will also grow exponentially along with the growth of that corporation. And so if I make such a good investment in that regard, I have become wealthier and I have accrued more value than if I had just let it sit in a bank account and collect interest, which is obviously another way in which you can accrue value. So that's the way in which you can sort of understand the process of investments from the investor's perspective. An investor is looking to make money, an investor, or to increase their value and increase their net worth. And so an investor will put money into a corporate security, for example, in order to do so, in order to accrue more value. Now, if you look at this from the other side of the perspective, from the corporation side of the perspective, they want to have an investor to invest in their corporation, to invest in their project, and to invest in their business in order to raise capital, okay? So this is on the other end of the spectrum. This is the other side of the coin. The use of financial markets can allow for the raising of capital for firms that need that capital injection from investments, okay? In order for a firm to expand, to build new facilities, to enter into new markets, they will often need to have quite a lot of money to pay for business expenses, to pay for new funds, to pay for new employees, to pay for new marketing programs, to pay for new buildings in different parts of the world. All of these different things all require capital, all require investors, okay? And the reason why this works, the reason why this is so important is because both the corporations and the investors are on the same page with regard to what they want to happen. Both of them want the business itself, the corporation that is on the financial market that the investor is invested in. They want that corporation to grow and increase in value. The corporation wants it to grow and increase in value because it wants to expand and it wants to continue its lifeline, and also to pay back shareholders as well, and to pay employees and to pay for all of the products and for the marketing and all the things that businesses do. But the investor wants it to grow because they want to make a return on their investment. So because everybody is incentivized to see that business grow, everybody is on the same page when it comes to both the investing into the business and the business themselves, who want to use that investment to raise capital. And they do so by floating corporate securities on financial markets. This is a useful way for new investors to put in an initial capital of investment and allow for businesses to pay for these expansions in the business itself. So that's the sort of direct growth of a company kind of functions of a financial market. There are also more technical reasons why a financial market is important, and one of these technical reasons is through the use of valuations. When you buy and sell financial instruments on a financial market, you do so at a price. Obviously, you obviously have to spend a certain amount of money or get a certain amount of money back if you sell financial instruments, so there's a price involved. The price is set, as it is in almost all markets, by the demand and the willingness of an individual to pay for those assets. So, for example, if there is a huge capital injection from a venture capitalist, for example, in a particular corporation, then the value of those assets, the values of those financial instruments, that equity, will increase. In this regard, then, the use of financial markets can be a useful insight into the value of a firm or a firm's assets. If they are valued highly, then this suggests that the firm is worth a lot of money, and individuals are willing to pay a lot of money for those financial instruments. It also gives insight to future investors, okay? Valuations are important for public corporations because a valuation really sets a standard of what this company is worth, roughly what this company is worth. It's not necessarily looking at what this company is worth on paper by examining all of the assets that they have on their balance sheet. Instead, it is more so looking at how we value that company more broadly. And there's obviously a lot of trickery that can happen in these examples where companies will overvalue themselves in order to attract more investment, or they undervalue themselves, and it gets a little bit technical. But financial markets are a useful tool to try and come to a conclusion about what this company really is worth. There are some companies that have like paper valuations, where for some reason they are valued at a ridiculously high rate, despite, in terms of their actual assets, having very little, okay? And so there's a huge disparity between how they are valued on paper versus what they actually are worth at that moment in time. Let's say if they went into insolvent liquidation, what creditors would be able to get back from that corporation. So there's a few things that needs to be said about valuations. And we'll get to valuations in a different series of lessons when we think about corporate finance in more detail. Another function of financial markets is this issue of price discovery. As we mentioned previously, the value of a financial asset is set at the willingness of an individual to pay for it. As soon as no more people are willing to pay, the highest point at which that individual is willing to pay is the price of that asset, essentially. The price of the asset is set at the highest point at which somebody is willing to pay. In this regard, therefore, one is able to use financial markets for price discovery. Okay, price discovery is essentially for the setting of the price of financial assets. And again, this is representative as another reason for why we use financial markets and their functions. Finally, or penultimately, I believe the issue of securing transactions is also a very important point when it comes to financial instruments and financial markets. Financial markets has developed today into an incredibly complex system of all-encompassing roles relating to financial systems. Commercial transactions are able to be secured through the use of collateral for payments in the future. And this is how things like eToro and Robinhood and Vanguard all operate when we think about making a trade. Okay, you make a trade on a particular, you purchase some stock or some stuff of that regard. A brokerage firm like Robinhood, a brokerage firm like eToro will essentially utilize collateral for payments in order to secure that transaction itself. And so when it comes to doing so, financial markets are very important for essentially simplifying a process of trying to, or at least resulting in the securing of transactions in a world that is particularly complex and all-encompassing when we think about the process of making commercial transactions of this nature.